Good morning. To begin this hearing, I would like to request that each person in attendance states their name and the agency they represent for the record. And after this occurs, I will outline the details of this public hearing, including the topics this meeting was intended to address. Please be advised that the county will seek written and oral public testimony and ask for public comments, proposals, and questions. If you would like to submit written or oral testimony at today's hearing, please submit the appropriate form, both of which are located at the desk to the door to my left, to me, Tanisha Drummond. You can also submit any comments to the Franklin County Economic Development and Planning Department located at 150 South Front Street, Suite 10, Columbus, Ohio, 43215, or via email at communitydevelopment@franklincountyohio.gov. If you have not already, kindly sign the sign-in sheet located at the aforementioned desk. Tanisha Drummond, Grants Coordinator, Franklin County Economic Development and Planning.
Michael Rurmond, Deputy Clerk, Board of Commissioners.
Brianna Morris, Assistant Prosecuting Attorney, on behalf of Franklin County Prosecuting Attorney G. Gary Tyak.
Walter Dillard, Assistant Director of Economic Development and Planning.
Joy Bivens, County Administration.
Michelle Pride, Interim Director, Franklin County Economic Development and Planning.
Thank you. On behalf of the Franklin County Commissioners and the Franklin County Economic Development and Planning Department, I would like to welcome you to the second supplemental hearing for the 2023 Action Plan. This hearing is being conducted to attain alignment with the county's Citizen Participation Plan, to assess housing and community development needs, and garner public input on the county's 2023 Action Plan development, and to meet the requirements imposed by federal law. This supplemental hearing and the components and actions associated with this hearing shall be considered ratified to meet necessary requirements. To begin this hearing, I will outline the details, including the topics this meeting was intended to address. Public hearings are designed to identify local housing and community development needs, announce the availability of funds, and assist citizens in assessing and potentially administering federally funded programs. The county will obtain the views of residents of the community on housing and community development needs, including priority non-housing community development needs, affirmatively furthering fair housing, respond to proposals and questions, and obtain public review and comments regarding the 2023 Annual Action Plan. The 2023 Annual Action Plan identifies how the county plans to use federal funds during the next program year to meet the goals and objectives that are outlined in the program year 2020 to 2024 Consolidated Plan. The 2023 Action Plan can be accessed by visiting the Franklin County's Economic Development and Planning website at development.franklincountyohio.gov/plans, or by requesting a copy from the Economic Development and Planning team via email at communitydevelopment@franklincountyohio.gov, or via phone at 614-525-5629. Any citizens or citizens groups desiring to comment on any phase of the planning or implementation of the programs may submit such comments or concerns in writing to Franklin County Economic Development and Planning Department, 150 South Town Street, Suite 10, Columbus, Ohio, 43215, or via email to communitydevelopment@franklincountyohio.gov. Accommodations for disabilities, non-English speaking residents, and reasonable accommodations will be honored upon request. A notice of this hearing was published on November 22nd, 2024 in the local newspaper. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, Annual Action Plan provides a summary of the actions, activities, and programs Franklin County will implement during the fourth year, which is 2023, of the Consolidated Plan from 2020 to 2024, to address the priority needs and goals identified by the strategic plan. Overall, the action plan functions as an annual guide and budget to explain how federal resources will be used to improve conditions for LMI, low to moderate income households, racial and ethnic minorities, homeless persons, and other non-homeless special needs populations in Franklin County. Franklin County is a qualified urban county that receives grant entitlement funds from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development on an annual basis, including Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, Home Investment Partnerships, HOME, and the Emergency Solutions Grant, ESG. Funding is used to support housing and community development programs that meet the needs of low and moderate income persons and families, and for persons experiencing homelessness. As a condition to continue to be eligible for these funds, the county prepared a 5-year consolidated plan for the period of 2020 to 2024, which included a community needs assessment, market analysis, public participation, and stakeholder consultation to establish the priority housing and community needs, resulting in the creation of a strategic plan to best allocate the HUD funding. The strategic plan set the goals and objectives for the 5-year period intended to meet the priority needs. The consolidated plan is carried out through annual action plans, which provide a concise summary of the actions, activities, and specific federal and non-federal resources that will be used to address the goals identified. In program year 2023, the focus was on affordable housing needs, public services, and emergency shelter for persons experiencing homelessness. The county received the following funding allocations to assist with these initiatives. CDBG, $2,014,978 for infrastructure, home repairs, public service, and affirmatively furthering fair housing. Franklin County intends to fund a variety of programs and projects that benefit low and moderate income county residents, including but not limited to infrastructure improvement, economic development loans and grants, home rehabilitation programs, public services, and fair housing initiatives. An overview of the CDBG programs can be found at 24 CFR Part 570. Home funding was in the amount of $968,689 for affordable housing development, down payment assistance, and community housing development organizations, or also known as CHODO. Franklin County intends to utilize these funds to provide loans and grants to homeowners, owners of rental property, and to nonprofit community housing development organizations for acquisition, rehabilitation, and the construction of affordable housing units. An overview of the home program can be found at 24 CFR Part 92. We received $180,974 in ESG funding, emergency shelter operations for the homeless population. Franklin County intends to use this funding to prevent individuals and families from becoming homeless or help those who are experiencing homelessness to be quickly rehoused and stabilized. The process to be followed in developing funding requests will be developed by EDP and future policy and procedures, along with project funding, request timeframes, and rating. An overview of the ESG program can be found at 24 CFR Part 576. The funds are intended to be awarded to various subrecipients within the community, as there were planned projects for the 2023 program year that were not implemented. These activities are likely to be pursued in the future. Franklin County has generated program income from previous programs in which the accounts are currently under a reconciliation process to ensure accurate reporting and record keeping. As of October 28, 2024, we show approximately $141,699.58 in program income received. At this point in the hearing, we will proceed with seeking written and oral testimony from the public, including public proposals, comments, or questions. As previously stated, if you wish to submit written testimony at this hearing, please submit the appropriate form located on the desk at the door to my left. You can also submit any comments to Franklin County Economic Development and Planning, located at 150 South Front Street, Suite 10, Columbus, Ohio 43215, or via email at communitydevelopment@franklincountyohio.gov. At this time, I would like to open the hearing for oral testimony. If you wish to provide oral testimony, We ask that you please provide your name and the organization that you are speaking on behalf of.
Seeing and hearing none, this hearing is concluded.